بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيد الأنبياء وخاتم النبيين. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to my viewers. Today I'm here to discuss on a very important topic. Brother Shamsuddin, who is a da'i, who is a revert from Qadianiyat to Islam, alhamdulillah, a few years ago, who has dedicated his life on research and then presenting that research to the Qadianites and inviting them to accept the true Islam. I came across one of his videos recently in which he has discussed the topic of Yus Asif. Now for the viewers who don't know who Yus Asif is, in fact many Qadianis are just aware of the name, this is very interesting. The video that he talks about, in which he talks about Yus Asif, is very comprehensive. It's in 3 parts, and if you subscribe to Brother Shamsuddin's channel, you will be able to see in 3 parts a comprehensive research on what Yus Asif was. Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani has presented Yus Asif as Isa ibn Maryam, Isa the son of Mary, the one who is referred to in Quran, and the Prophet all the Muslims believe. It is interesting to know that for the first 52 years of his life, Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani believed and preached that Isa ibn Maryam is alive, he is up in the heavens, he was taken up alive, and he will return close to the day of judgment. However, after 52 years, for certain motives that we know that he had, he completely changed it 180 degrees and started to claim that Isa ibn Maryam has died, he will not return, and he himself presented himself as the alternative, the one who was the promised Messiah, Masih Ma'ud, as they call in Arabic, and he wrote about himself in the books. It was very interesting to see that he presented a grave in Khaniar, in Srinagar, which is in Kashmir, in the Indian occupied Kashmir. He presented that grave as the grave of Isa alayhi salam, Isa ibn Maryam alayhi salam. And he also claimed that this knowledge has been revealed to him by a wahi, by it's a divine knowledge told to him by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which is obviously a false claim, as all Muslims know, but he attributed this knowledge to a wahi. Interestingly, this video talks about in detail by Brother Shamsuddin, this video talks about in detail about that grave, and I myself, I'm a personal witness to this grave. Many of my viewers will be surprised to know this. Half of my family lives in Srinagar in Kashmir, and one of my aunt, the eldest aunt, she is from Khaniar, from Mohalla Khaniar. I have visited Khaniar. My last visit was there in 1983, and I have visited 3 shrines there. There is not one in Khaniar, there are 3, and I visited all 3 shrines, and I remember distinctly visiting this grave. At that time it was possible to go up to the building of the grave. My auntie's family, they have lived in Khaniar, they are Naqshbandi, they are from Naqshbandi family. They have lived there for centuries, and when I put this claim to them that Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani has claimed that this is the grave of Isa, they said it's preposterous, it's not possible, nobody knows about this. So this also got my interest of Brother Shamsuddin, the research that he's done. And why is it so important? It's so important because he exclusively talks about wahi, that this knowledge was revealed to him by wahi. And what Brother Shamsuddin has done, and I met him recently and I recorded something with him as well, which you will see very soon. He states that this is a wahi, and if it can be proven, this is what the main point, the punchline of Brother Shamsuddin's video is, that if it can be proven that the grave is not of Isa alayhi salam, Isa ibn Maryam, then the claim of wahi by Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani is a falsified claim, and therefore he cannot be any promised Messiah, any Mahdi, any whatever he claimed. He claimed a whole lot of 9 yards of different titles, so he can't be any but except a false Messiah, a false prophet. And today we're going to discuss this. For example, I have this reference here with me. In his Ruhani Khazain's reference, this is volume number 18, page number 361. In this he talks about a book. The book is called Kamaluddin, and he said that Isa ibn Maryam was Yus Asif. this story has been mentioned in this Kamaluddin book, and anybody who is interested should read Kamaluddin, should read the book Kamaluddin. Well, today we have here with us the book Kamaluddin, as you can see. And when we went through this, I went through this myself and I read the story. On its page number, I think 386, I believe, if I'm not wrong. But you can check it, and I can put the reference in the comments of this video as well. It is something amazing mentioned. Yus Asif was born of a king. He is the son of a king. Now the story continues, and I'm not going to go in details. This will be a very long video. Surprisingly, in this very book, the only proof that Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani gave, Kamaluddin book, this book is, you can get it, it's available, it's printed and published. If you read through this book, you will be able to see the whole story of Yus Asif, who he was, how was he born. He was born as a prince of a king, and the king himself was a pagan. Long story, I'm not going to go in details. Surprisingly, he claimed that Isa ibn Maryam is Yus Asif. The Quran says that Isa ibn Maryam was born without a male father, a human father. He was just conceived miraculously by Maryam alayhi salam. And Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani said that in this book it is confirmed that he is Isa ibn Maryam. Well, the book says that he was born as a son to a king. Very interesting. So that falsifies his claim. But now let's say, I mean, without going into detail, I have something very interesting to present to you today. I have a sister here with me. She is also revert from Qadiani to Islam, alhamdulillah. Allah showed her the path. And she also has done some research in the story of Yus Asif. So when I spoke to her and I mentioned this research by Brother Shamsuddin, she said that she's aware of this. And she also discussed a few more things with me. And for my surprise, the things tallied so well that I said that I have to request you to come and speak to us of your findings alongside with Brother Shamsuddin. And she very kindly agreed. However, due to the reasons of parda, of niqab, of hijab, she said that she would not be able to appear on the camera. However, she said that for the service of the deen and the deen of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, she is prepared to give her voice into this recording. I have her here with me. So let's talk to her. Assalamu alaikum, sister. Sister, please introduce yourself, that who you are, how did you find out about the falsified claims of the falsified promised Messiah, Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani?
Well, Dawood, being a student of research, logic and reasoning was my passion. So when I applied the same to religion, it was revealed to me that Qadianism is nothing but a collection of ridiculous and self-proclaimed revelations of a person named Mirza Ghulam Qadiani. So after that research, alhamdulillah, by the grace of Almighty Allah, I was ultimately chosen, rather guided by Allah Almighty towards the right path.
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. Allah chooses whomsoever He pleases. So let's come to the main topic for which I've troubled you here today with us. Please tell me, did you hear about Yus Asif when you were Qadiani? Did you have an introduction to him?
Yes, Tawar Bhai, you will be surprised to know that this particular name, Yus Asif, is very well known to all the Qadianis. This is because of the fact that Mirza Ghulam Qadiani has written on a number of occasions in a number of books, volumes of his Ruhani Khazain, that Yus Asif is basically Jesus Christ. And this concept of his has become the basis of the false belief of Mirza Ghulam Qadiani that Jesus Christ is dead. Mirza Qadiani said that Jesus was dead, and in an effort to make his claim more authentic, he had declared this tomb of the prince Yus Asif as the tomb of Jesus Christ.
That's true, yes, correct.
Though I had already studied about it, but the research done by Mr. Shamsuddin is in fact a really incredible one.
Indeed.
And the videos that I've watched about Yus Asif have covered almost all the aspects about the issue.
That's very true. I mean, I fully agree with you. I saw this video and it's in three parts.
Yeah.
When I saw part one, which came obviously first, I had to watch it a few times, in fact, because it was mind blowing.
Yeah.
The level of research that he went into. Brother Shamsuddin, alhamdulillah, he just dropped like an atom bomb, to be honest, on Qadianiyat. A falsified claim that Yusuf Asif in fact is Isa ibn Maryam. Quran talks about the mother,
The
mother,
yeah.
indeed, the
Quran
mother of
declares him as son of Mary.
son of Mary,
Jesus, son of
everywhere,
Mary.
the son of Mary,
Yeah.
the apostle of Allah, the Rasul of Allah, Rasulullah. And in this book that we have here, Kamaluddin, I mean, you've read the book,
I've
right?
read it.
Yeah, and in
I've
this
gone
book,
through
I will show it one more time in the camera. This book, Kamaluddin, this is the book that Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani is referred to as his evidence,
that. Yeah.
right? So when we examine the evidence he presented, what do we see? Please tell us.
The book clearly tells that Yusuf was born as a son to a king, and that king, basically he was the king of India, Hindustan. At that time, it was a very large state, and when this boy was born to him, there were some people who told him that this boy will be reverted to Islam.
That's the
And
story.
he was afraid about this fact, and so he took his son to a sort of prison where he was
He
not
was confined in a
in a
palace
place
or
where he
something. Yes.
couldn't get information about
couldn't get
different things
outside,
and
yes,
couldn't probe
yes.
about religion and everything. So when he was imprisoned over there for a quite number of years, when he was quite young, he rather called so you can call him the Wazir, Badshah's.
Yeah, yes, the people who advise the king
Yeah.
and all that.
He
Yes.
called it advisor or vizier of the king, and he threatened him to open that prison so that he could go out and see the world and research about things and probe about the questions that he had in mind.
The main point is that what we understand. I mean, I've read. Alhamdulillah, I'm quite fluent in Urdu. Oh, and by the way, for the viewers, I must also mention this that we're doing this in English. Shamsuddin Bhai has done it in Urdu, and it's a fantastic piece of research work, amazing work. But that would only address to the people who understand Urdu. Now, and it's a large number. But we know that Qadianiyat has also tried a lot of effort. They've made a lot of effort into many countries where Urdu is not the language, in Africa and other places. But English is the international language. It's a common language. So I requested my sister here to speak in English, so the message of Shamsuddin's amazing work can also reach out to the people who don't understand Urdu, and that's why we're speaking in English today. So sister, when we read this book, I mean the bottom line is, or shall I say the punchline is, that Yusuf Asif, according to the Wahi, astaghfirullah, Wahi of Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani, according to so-called Wahi, is Isa ibn Maryam, Jesus, who died and got married in Kashmir, in Khaniyar.
Yeah.
And he referred to this book as his only evidence. That this is, if you want to read details, have a read. Page 361, you can read it yourself. Widely available. This book. Well, that's the one which is with the Arabic.
Yeah.
I'm referring to the one which is with Urdu. And surprisingly, in this book, which he presented, Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani presented as his evidence, in this book he has a father.
Yeah,
And it is-
and
And it is
the
clearly,
basic concept has been shattered. The only evidence has been shattered into
it
pieces.
is, one English phrase comes to my mind, which is called shooting yourself in the foot. So,
Very well said.
Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani in fact shot himself in the foot. I mean, look, if I give you this as my only evidence, and you examine my evidence, and if you find it 180 degrees opposite, Quran says Isa ibn Maryam because he did not have a father. He's referred to as the son of Mary, Maryam alayhi salam. And in this book, Yusuf Asif, who is supposedly, allegedly, Isa ibn Maryam and buried in Kashmir, in Srinagar, has a father, a biological father. The book states absolutely categorically clearly that he was born of a king and he was a prince and he was to
now
take
the
over.
question is whether he was a prophet or he was a pious person or whatever he was, whatever was used as, if he could not be Jesus Christ.
Absolutely.
Just for the reason that he had a father.
And this is our point. I mean, and the worst thing is that this false claim has been attributed to Allah. Astaghfirullah. In Quran, Allah says, and not in one place, in many places, that who would be more harsh than the one who attributes false ayahs to Allah or false claims to Allah, that Allah has said this and Allah has said that. And we have this example in Baqarah, in Surah Baqarah. You read, فَوَيْلُ أَعُوذُ بِاللَّهِ مِنَ الشَّيْطَانِ الرَّجِيمِ فَوَيْلُ الَّذِينَ يَكْتُبُونَ الْكِتَابَ بِأَيْدِيهِمْ ثُمَّ يَقُولُونَ هَذَا مِنْ عِنْدِ اللَّهِ لَيَشْتَرَهُ بِهِ ثَمَنًا قَلِيلًا. For a little reward. Allah says, vow to those who write the books with their own hands and then claim this is from Allah. For a miserable profit, I mean, he might have gained some profit from this, but in Allah's sight, attributing lies to Allah is one of the biggest sins. And we can, I think you will agree with me on this, sister, that whoever Yusuf was, I mean, I'm coming to the conclusion now, that whosoever Yusuf was, whether he was a prophet or not, whether he was a Nabi of Allah or not, whether he was a Wali Allah of his time or not, whether he was a pious man, whether he was a sinner, we're not going into detail. Even so, and this is the main point of Brother Shamsuddin's video as well, even if he was a prophet of his time, because Quran, Sahih Ahadith tells us there is about 124,000 almost prophets came to the world in different times in different parts of the world. He could be one of them. He well could be. We're not saying he was. We're not saying he was not. He could be. But one thing we can say with surety, and I want you to say that thing.
Yeah, this is what Shamsuddin has also emphasized.
Yes, and he could be.
He has told again and again that he could be a prophet, but he could never be Jesus Christ.
Isa ibn Maryam.
Because Isa ibn Maryam did not have a father, and we all know it, and we all believe in this sacred Quran. And second, one more thing that I would like to add over here is that Mirza Ghulam Qadiani has also written in the volume 18 of his Ruhani Khazain that the book that Yusuf Asif hold was also named as Bible by him. But interestingly, in this whole book, in this whole piece of work, there is no mention of Bible or a book. And not even a book.
This is, I remember, this is page 361, Ruhani Khazan volume, volume 18. He mentioned that he had a book which is called the Bible, or the in Urdu we could call it Anjil. So he has Injil, Evangel.
But there is not a mention of a written.
There is nothing mentioned, and he said, and on this page 361, volume 18, Ruhani Khazan, he said very clearly that if you want to know more about Yusuf Asif's story, that why was he Jesus Christ, Isa alayhi salam, then you should read the book. And when we read the book, sister, the book very clearly states that he had a father.
Miserably negated the concept of Mirza Ghulam Qadiani.
I'll remind you one more time, the phrase, shooting yourself in the foot.
Exactly.
So he did that. Well, first of all, I would like to say thank you very much to you. Jazakallah khair wa ahsan jazaa fi dunya wal akhirah. It has been wonderful speaking to you. It has been great speaking to you. You have really made the effort, and your research is quite fantastic. It's wonderful, confirming what Brother Shamsuddin has done in his videos. I spoke to him. I took his permission, in fact, before this video, and I said that I'm going to speak to our sister, who is a revert from Qadiani, about your videos, and we will discuss it. And he was very happy, and he was very excited to know that we will record this in English. Therefore, because the people who don't speak or don't understand Urdu, they will be able to get benefit from his research. So I want to thank you for this, that you spared time and you came. If you like to add something in the end, any message for
all my sisters,
yes,
and
indeed,
even brothers who are still Qadianis,
yes,
they must think over, they must ponder over why the Qadiani Murabbiyan, their ulmas, whatever name you may call them, why they have not revealed this fact to them, that this is clearly written in Kamaluddin book, that this guy Yusuf Asif had a father. why they did rather conceal this fact from them.
It's a very valid point.
They all must not only read the books of Jamaat Ahmadiyya, they are told by Allah Almighty to think over, to ponder over, and that's why they should not only refer to the books of Jamaat Ahmadiyya, rather they must do their research on their own.
It's a very valid point. I mean, I second that, what you've said. There could be only two reasons. Reason number one, either they don't know. They don't know. Either they don't know what is the reality behind it.
I think some of
them might know, but the majority might not know.
They also had a great vast study on the subject.
Indeed. Either they don't know, or the second reason is that they are being dishonest to themselves.
I endorse this reason.
Yeah, and I think dishonesty is not acceptable in any part of the world, especially when it comes to the matter of your iman, your faith in your heart.
Exactly.
We can probably get away with this in some aspects, although dishonesty is not appreciated anywhere. But when it comes to your akhirah, your iman, your faith, your deen, the whole thing bases the success in the hereafter basis on your iman, and you risk your iman, you completely destroy your iman. Dishonesty is not acceptable. Well, I think with this we have come to the end of this, and I thank you one more time. You have been wonderful. You've shared your views, and I will share this video with Brother Shamsuddin. He will look into it. I'm sure he will like it. We've done it in English purely for the reason, although the research is his, and we must give him credit that he's done all the research. We only try to present a part of it in English so people from English-speaking countries can also understand that what games and what tricks have been played on their minds by Ghulam Ahmad Qadiani and then his Jamaat. So with this, I thank you one more time. Jazakumullah khair wa ahsanu jazaa fid dunya wal akhirah. Well, viewers, as you've seen today, our sister here, myself, I've done some studies myself, although I don't claim to be an alim. Shamsuddin brother has done a remarkable job. I think you should go to his channel, you should subscribe his channel, see these videos, and it's not only these 3-part videos on Use Asif, there are many others. Amazing research work is done, and it was my honor today. Personally, I want to say thank you to our brother Shamsuddin, that he allowed me, he gave me permission to do this discussion in English on his videos. And what we've seen today is that, and I invite all Qadianis today, all of you, brothers, sisters, please invite anybody who's next to you that you know who is a Qadiani. Ask them to get this book. Ask them to read this book. I'm not opening the page and showing you because it will take a lot of time. I'm not reading even from Urdu and translating in English because it takes a lot of time. But please, get this book, Kamaluddin. It's the book, the whole name of the book is Kamaluddin wa Tamamun Ni'ma. Kamaluddin wa Tamamun Ni'ma. And it is the collected by Sheikh Sudduq Rahmullah Alayh and translated by Mujahid Hussain. And you can get it from Al-Muntazir Foundation, Lahore, Pakistan. Please get the book, give it to the Qadianis, or I request the Qadianis, please understand, we have no personal gain. Please get the book, verify the claim by Brother Shamsuddin yourself, what we've discussed with our sister today and presented to you. Believe me, the claim that he attributed to Allah is false. All of his claims, therefore, are not acceptable, because he himself said once in one of his books, and you can check the reference, it can be provided in the comments. He said that if somebody lies about one thing in one statement and it is proven that he lied, then all of his other statements cannot be trusted. So according to his own claim, we have proved beyond the shadow of any doubt that he has lied about Yusuf Asif to be Isa ibn Maryam and buried in Srinagar. If this claim is falsified and proven to be a false claim today, think about all the other claims that he has made for you. Wa akhiru da'wana and alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.